Welcome to our sixth webinar of the MSpot Cycle 1 Season Vale. I'm with you guys again. We have been promoting those webinars for the past month and a half, trying to make you guys understand all of the challenges that we are proposing in this cycle of the MSpot Cycle 1. And today we have here some technicians from Vale. We'll be talking about a couple more of those challenges. So with no longer ado, and wishing that everyone is safe and sound at home, expecting for this pandemic to be over as soon as possible so we can all see each other and hug each other in a normal, regular way again, and we can conduct our businesses and our lives in a proper way. And I can finally get a haircut. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Guilherme Marinho. I'm a corporate accelerator for Neo Ventures. You have probably now gotten used to my face. I've been conducting those webinars for the past weeks. Lorena has been in charge of the webinars on Tuesdays in the Portuguese version, and I am conducting the webinars in the English version on Wednesdays. Let's talk about the MSpot Cycle 1. MSpot is a program for the mining hub, and it is the customized program to solve exclusive challenges of the companies and the associated suppliers. In the MSpot, the mining company or supplier will launch specific challenges of their exclusive interest, and this will be accordingly to their operational and strategic need of that company. This helps us to get more specific and more detailed in the challenges that are being proposed and help innovation go into those companies in a more direct and diverse way. This promotes more networking, more agility, a better reach for specific startups, and we can do all of that with low cost and exclusivity to that customized specific challenge and reality of that mining company. So we the first one, this first cycle was being conducted by Vale, and we went all the way inside their areas. We looked for their challenges, or their customized challenges. We selected from over 70 challenges, and we reached 15 really important ones that were launched. And now we're looking for you guys, startups and spin-offs and science projects and technology enthusiasts from anywhere in the world to come and solve those challenges for us. Let's talk about our schedule, shall we? So we started setting this program up in late April, when we first did our challenges presentation, and all of the technicians at Vale could present to us which challenges they faced during their day-to-day lives. After that, we performed this prioritization, which we had just mentioned. We came down from over 70 challenges all the way to 15. Now we're in the disclosure step of our program, where we are publicizing all of the challenges and reaching out to you guys, to startups, to apply and to actually check if you were able to solve those challenges. This is a very important deadline. We will be accepting applications until August 9th. So we still have a couple of weeks. I believe that we have 3 more weeks of applications to go on. So please be really aware of this deadline, which is, again, I'll repeat myself, but I think that it is really important to stress, August 9th. After that, we'll conduct startup selection from during a month and a half. Those startup selection stage will involve the selection through all the application form and also interview stage. During that interview stage, we will select 3 startups to participate in our boot camp, which will start on late September. This bootcamp stage will be almost 5 weeks long. And during those 5 weeks, all of the startups will be registered as Vale suppliers and will also get the chance to interact with Vale's technicians in a way in which they can plan and propose a proof of concept test. They will be judged on their proof of concept test plan, and one startup will be selected to conduct this test for each challenge. So 15 startups overall will be selected in our final process. Those 15 startups will be inside Vale's environment and performing real-time, real-life proof of concept, paid for proof of concept tests during 5 months. This will lead us all the way to early 2021, and when around mid-March, we will conduct a demo day to actually showcase everything that has been done during our program. We highly encourage you to be a part of this. We think that it's a really, really nice way to interact with mining companies, and especially in this cycle with Vale as one of the largest mining companies in the world. So this is a very unique chance to not miss it. We received proposed challenges from 7 different areas in Vale. So energy, railways, geotechnics, technical marketing, navigation, pelletizing, and port. All of the information around those challenges and around those areas are already available at our website. So access mininghub.com.br/programmers/MSpot, and you will find the call for applications and the application website where you can apply your solution to any of the 15 proposed challenges in those 7 areas. We want you guys to interact with us during this webinar. So in order to do that, use the chat instrument and the chat tool in YouTube. You can ask us any question you'd like and ask our technicians that are here with us today. And we will just give you a quick rules in order to make the life easier for us. So if you want to ask about the first challenge, you write C1, and so that can be a guide to us if you want to ask a question for the first or for the second challenge. It's very important to write complete questions. It's kind of difficult to interact with you guys, and that will make you explain a little bit more of the question, and that can cause us some communication issues and some timing issues. So please write complete questions at the tool, at the chat tool on YouTube. And if you're watching this on a recorded version, if you're not watching us live right now, which we are seeing that there's the case, there's plenty of you that's watching after we are recording this, please feel free to send us your question to contato@mininghub.com.br. We will direct your questions to the technicians, and then we will answer you as soon as possible. Just some quick tips so that everyone can answer and make the life easier for every single one of the people involved in this webinar. I will use this chance to highlight everyone in the background, say hi to Lorena, which has helped us through all of this process, and say hi also to Jesse, who is taking care of every single thing you see in the background, from questions to the transmission patterns and the presentations. So with no longer ado, let's talk about our challenges right now. Today we're talking about pelletizing. We have a couple of challenges which are really interesting, technical challenges, and also a very important administrative and managing of a pilot plant challenge. Let's go to the first one, which is efficiency reduction in filtration due to obstruction and tears in the fabric. In order to do that, I'll ask now Bruno Gava from Vale to talk with us. Bruno, you have the spotlight. Please, could you guide us through your challenge?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing great. Okay. So, my name is Bruno, and I will present to you the challenge to eliminate the inefficiency of the filtering process due to the tears and obstructions in the cloth filter. Okay. So, first of all, I will explain quickly the pelletizing process for you guys have some context. Okay. So it all starts when we receive the pellet feed from the mine site. And then pellet feed is already a concentrate iron ore, which came from the mineral process at the mining plant. So when we have this pellet feed, we need to grind the feed passing through the ball mills in order to reduce the particle size and increase the specific surface, for example. And then, because of we use water in this process of grinding, we have a very important stage that is to eliminate water from the ore poop. And then we can have a very good percentage of moisture that is around 7 to 9%, which is enough moisture content to create very good pellets in the next step that we call it pelletizing disc. Okay, so when we're forming pellets in the pelletized disc, what products we call it green pellets. So those green pellets they have a specific size, and then they are ready to go to get burned in the furnace. And then we improve the resistance, the physical resistance and the abrasion resistance of these pellets, and then they are ready to get transported from for the client in even another country. Okay. So what is the real problem here? The real problem is when my filtering is not having very good performance, which means I'm getting high moisture content from this process. I'm not being able to reduce the moisture as I would like to. So often this happens because my clothes are tearing apart. Now, as you guys see here in the picture, um, the filtering has some discs, and like a pizza, these discs have some slice. So, and we call those slices, we call them sectors. So the sectors they have a very small fissures, and they are, and they are dressed by a filter cloth. So it's a sector and plus a filter cloth. So the filter clock works very similar to a coffee filter, for example, okay? And its purpose is to retain the solid material that we call it pi. So the pi retain in the filter cloth, and the water goes away for another spot. So my filters, so I'll explain very quickly how the filter works. It works using a vacuum system. One of side of the equipment, it will suck the oil poop to the setter and to be glued in the cloth. So we have this solid material that I call it pi. And then after that, we blow this pi, this material that is glued to the filter cloth. We blow to another side, and it falls in a conveyor belt, and it go to the next process. So, however, if my cloth has some tears or holes, it will be not good for the process because the iron ore will be sent to another place that is not supposed to be six. It's supposed to be only water, right? The iron ore is supposed to be glued to the cloth, and also my pie will also have a high moisture content, okay? Because I'll not be able to filter this to get this water from the ore. And that's not the only problem. My other problem is I when the very fine particles they get obstructed in the filter because the sectors and the clutters, they can be very obstructed very easily because they have some very fine fissures, very very small fissures. They can get obstructed very easily because of the finest particles. And the only thing that we can do to avoid this is to clean them periodically with water. But that is not the best solution because after cleaning, after we use water to clean, it's very easy to get obstruct again if I have very fine particles in my oil poop. And also, that's not very good to be cleaning every time because I need to turn off the equipment to clean. And then I lose production and more things. So both problems that I have discussed here imply like a low productivity, low efficient. We will increase costs because we have to change the cloths because there are tears. Uh, I expose people to risk because they need to get in touch with the machine to change the damaged clothes to new ones in case we have some tears. And what actually we're expecting this challenge, it's maybe we can have a new type of cloth that has better performance or a better lifespan, for example. Maybe we can have a better predictions in change those cloths with new types, or also maybe new type of sector with some improvements that avoid obstructions. That's what we are thinking about with this challenge. So we don't. It's very nice to say and important to say that we don't want to just Obera. We don't want to identify those tiers or change them automatically, because we already have some ongoing projects to do this, and I think it's very good that if you can merge those projects. Okay. So that is, I think I could explain for you guys what it is about. So if you guys have any question, please feel free to ask, okay?
Thank you so much for the explanation, Bruno. I'll bring back some questions of the webinar from yesterday. We had a couple of them from Fernando. And Fernando asked if does a raw pellet contain how much moisture? Once that it's cooked, what is the humidity that you expect on this raw pellet that will go through the filter?
Okay, the raw pellets we also call green pellets, and the moisture content should be around 7 to 19%. That's a very good percent of moisture that is able to form very good pellets. If you have a material that has higher moisture content, probably will not be able to form good pellets, or will be able to form very big pellets that's not good. We have a specific size. So a green pellet should have around 7 to 9% of moisture content.
Nice. I have a question of my own. I'd like to know how often it is that you change those filters nowadays. If there's a protocol where you exchange them in a periodically way, in a periodical way, how is that made today?
Probably every week we have some sectors and we have some clots, they have tiers, and we are replacing those clots and sectors every day because we cannot replace like a filter clot without take off the sector. So we need to stop the machine, take off the sectors, and take off the filter, and then dress again with a new one. So every week we have things like that.
So it's a currently weekly exchange that's happening on a weekly basis. So
Yeah.
I can imagine that there's plenty of improvement to do on increasing that lifespan,
Yes. Yes. You're right.
even it being improving the filter itself on the materials, or even increasing the planning for that exchanges to happen and how to predict them, right?
Yes. 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 Right.
That's great.
Okay.
Really interesting. The whole subject. I mean, it's obviously something that affects you guys on very frequent basis. So this would alter your day-to-day routine quite significantly, right? If solved.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we will improve because we will reduce the risk exposure from our employees, right? I used to think if I can stay away from the machine, I will be safer. So as long as I
Correct.
need to be just a very, very small time of my part, being in touch with the machine will be good for me, will be good for the company, and will be safer for everyone.
And you'd probably be able to get the machine running for a more efficient and
Yeah,
for a less and diminish the downtime of it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll be able to running. I don't need to stop every day or every week. I have a very productive, higher productivity.
Great. I think that illustrates really well how the this challenge interacts with your day-to-day operation
Yeah,
and how that will um, and how to solve it will change your day-to-day operation and improve it to a better, more innovative and more efficient way and a safer way as well, which is really important.
okay.
That's great. Thank you so much, Bruno. If we get any more questions, I will direct them to you while we conduct our webinar.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask now Healthy Balestrero to join in with us. Healthy is going to talk in Portuguese, and I'll ask him to conduct a little bit of his presentation, a couple words, a couple phrases in Portuguese, and then I'll be able to translate that to you guys, and we will conduct his presentation of the challenge that in that way. So, Healthy, I'll now change to Portuguese, you guys, really quickly.
Ok,
Healthy, por favor, a sua apresentação.
ok. A planta piloto de pilotização, ela é uma usina em escala de laboratório e ela tem por finalidade testar novos insumos e melhorias no processo de pilotização.
So the pilot plant, the pelletizing pilot plant, has as its goal to test new features and new protocols for the pelletizing plant.
O nosso principal problema, ele está na elevada demanda de testes e a capacidade limitada de execução pelo laboratório. Daí a elevada fila esperando a execução dos testes na planta piloto.
Our main problem is the high number of tests to be made, which generates a large queue with several test ideas to be performed by this pilot plant.
E é importante que a gente consiga fazer com que essa fila ela esvazie o mais rápido possível, para que a gente possa testar os possíveis testes que vão dar certo na planta industrial e descartar rápido aqueles que não dariam certo nem no laboratório.
And it is important to run through this queue as quickly as possible so that you can sort out which projects are viable in the pelletizing plant and also in the industrial scale, and what projects are not viable.
Outro problema que a gente tem são as elevadas interfaces de softwares. Então, nós utilizamos vários softwares para a execução da rotina, o que acarreta muitas vezes erro por problema de interface entre um software e outro.
So another problem that we face on the daily operation is the many software environments and interfaces that we have to interact with in order to select and deal with the queue of the projects, and that generates a lot of waste of time and rework and red tape from all of those softwares, and there's a lack of standardization on information of each one of the programs.
Daí a importância da sistematização da rotina para que a gente possa eliminar os erros e reduzir o custo através dessa sistematização, bem como ter também os dashboards e relatórios de testes para acompanhar a performance da planta.
So this makes a really important standardization of all of those information, especially in creating dashboards to have a clear notion of the project's protocols and the project's information.
E é de extrema importância que a gente consiga fazer uma priorização estratégica dos programas que vão entrar na planta para que a gente possa colocar os testes que vão trazer um retorno mais rápido para a Vale.
And it is important that we test in a clever way so that we can select which projects will generate most return on investment for Vale.
E é importante falar que a gente não quer um sistema de gestão da rotina apenas. A gente quer um sistema que, além da gestão da rotina, ele também faça uma priorização estratégica das entradas de trabalho na planta piloto.
And it is important to highlight that we don't want just a routine management tool. We want this to have the traceability and ease of access and help us to diminish the weighting of our queue.
E quais são os parâmetros que fariam um programa entrar na frente de outro programa de trabalho? Isso é uma coisa que nós vamos ter que amadurecer, porque podem existir várias formas de priorizar o programa, e a gente vai ter que amadurecer isso com o tempo, mas a ideia é que nós façamos a priorização na entrada para que entre o programa que vai trazer um retorno mais rápido para a Vale.
And the ranking of the projects would have to be talked about during the testing of the solution as the patterns that will identify which projects are more viable and more important to test first will change. So that's something that the solution will have to address, is how to prioritize and rank all of the projects which are in the queue.
É isso, Guilherme. Acho que esse é o trabalho, é o problema que a gente tem, a dor que a gente tem hoje lá.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Ralph, eu tenho uma pergunta, e aí é bem minha, e depois disso o Fernando acho que já fez alguma pergunta aqui no inglês também. Mas
okay.
O que eu queria, uma das coisas que eu queria saber é que atualmente não existe priorização. Ela chega, é o primeiro que chega, é o primeiro que é testado.
Perfeito. Então, atualmente, a não ser que seja uma decisão gerencial, né, baseado numa escolha humana, baseado numa escolha gerencial, o primeiro que chega é o primeiro que sai. E aí, para algumas áreas do laboratório, nós temos uma fila que pode chegar a 1 ano de espera.
Okay, so I asked Healthy what is the logic of prioritization and ranking of those projects today, and his answer was that it is a first come first serve system. So there's no ranking whatsoever. Every single one that comes to the pilot plant is tested on the order that it comes to the plant. And so if a very important challenge or a very important project is sent later than someone that's simpler and probably will not generate as much revenue as the other one, this second one and the most important one probably will have to wait, and this waiting can go up to a year. So this generates a potential loss, as this could be tested in a faster and a way that could generate revenue and generate income faster for Vale. So Fernando is asking if the tests have ever done, if all the tests are done in a standard format. I'm not sure what he means by a standard format. Are you aware, Healthy? Ele está querendo perguntar se os testes são todos feitos em formato padrão.
Nós temos um padrão para todos os testes. Porém, como a gente trabalha com pesquisa, pode ser que nós façamos um teste que fuja um pouco do padrão para avaliar alguma característica específica.
Okay, so there is a pattern for every single one of the projects, but as this works involves research and development, there could be changes to those patterns in each project depending on the reality and specifics of each one of the projects. There was yesterday a couple of very good questions about this as well. And which are the number of variables that would help you to select those projects? Então, qual o número de variáveis e quais seriam elas que te ajudariam a escolher? Seria essa questão de projeção financeira, os custos, a duração do teste em termos de tempo, em termos de recursos, de matéria-prima, quais são esses parâmetros que te ajudam a selecionar?
Então, essa é uma coisa que nós vamos ter que amadurecer ainda. A ideia é que nós tenhamos um algoritmo de priorização, e aí ele pode considerar tanto a parte financeira como o tempo de teste. Às vezes, se eu executo os testes mais rápidos, eu consigo esvaziar mais a fila. Só que também eu posso ter um programa estratégico aqui que vale a pena passar ele na frente dos outros, visto o retorno financeiro que ele pode trazer. Então, existe uma série de variáveis que a gente vai ter que amadurecer nesse período de desenvolvimento do trabalho para saber qual seria o algoritmo ideal para essa priorização.
So the parameters for each test and for each project will include all the financial projections, the costs, open requests, the inventory control, the test results, contract control, request status, and many other parameters for this decision making. So the solution would have to perform a ranking and score of those parameters and decide based on that. But at the same time, this would have to change depending on each criteria score. For instance, there are fast tests that could be performed and that would help empty the queue faster, in a faster way. But if those fast tests are not as that could not help in on financial projection, as well as one that's way down there in the queue and that would need us some more time, maybe that this one that would generate more revenue could be moved on to the next on the queue. So that would have to depend on the way that the project, that the program or the software that would be the solution would rank all of the projects, and that would have to be adjusted and customized for every one of the projects. Healthy, I believe that's it. Eu acho que é isso.
Okay.
Muito obrigado pelo seu tempo, obrigado por ter vindo aqui. Thank you so much for your time, for coming here.
Okay.
In order to end this webinar, let's talk a little bit more about our other programs in Mining Hub. I'd like to always bring your attention to MConnect, as this is directly related to us. If the couple of challenges that you saw here today are not applicable to your solution, you don't think that your solution is able to solve any of those two very, very important issues that we just explained here today, please check MConnect. So MConnect is a program inside Mining Hub for solutions and for startups which do not apply to any of the open challenges inside our programs. Please log into mininghub.com.br/programas/mconnect, and you'll find there a very simple form where you can describe your solution and tell us why do you think it is important for the mining sector to reach out to you and to see if your solution is applicable to them. If any of the mining companies linked to the Mining Hub think that this is applicable to their solution or to their reality, they will contact you and we will conduct a pitch, and they will conduct a more detailed meeting for you guys to plan how this could be tested. So this is really an open source and an open door for you to walk into the mining sector and say, hey, please, hey, check me out. I have a solution here that I think that could be applicable. Do you think that this is okay? Do you think that this is necessary? And this will help you if you don't think you're fit for any of the challenges that are currently open. Let's talk about our webinar schedule. We're almost at the end of our schedule. We have already conducted Portuguese and English versions of the following webinars. We started with the call for applications. After that, we talked about energy. We talked about railroads. We talked about geotechnics and technical marketing. You can find all of those webinars recorded in our YouTube channel. You can see all the technicians, just like Bruno and Healthy were here today with us to talk about the challenges on their area. The technicians on energy, railroads, geotechnics, and technical marketing were with us during those webinars to talk about their proposed challenges. So you can go back and watch and check them out, see if you have any doubts. If you do have them, please send us an email. On the email, I'll show you guys in a few slides. Last week, we talked about navigation. Also, we had here the challenges of that area with Rafael. It was wonderful. Today we talked about pelletizing. We performed this Portuguese version of this webinar yesterday, as we are doing regularly. So always on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Brazil time, the Portuguese version with Lorena, and on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Brazil time as well, always the English version of that same webinar. We have a couple of more. So next week, we'll be talking about port area. There are 3 challenges on that area. This will be a very busy webinar. We'll have lots of interesting challenges which are related to a very specific area in Vale, which is an area which makes them very unique inside the mining sector. This will be very, very interesting. And finally, on our last week of applications, on early August, first week of August, on the 4th and 5th of August, we will do an application walkthrough. So if you guys have any last minute doubts on how to apply to MSpot Cycle 1, we will conduct this walkthrough and we will guide you through each step of the application process, okay? So you can reach us out for any doubts you have on the call for applications. It's already online on our website, on the Mining Hub website. You can contact us at contato@mininghub.com.br. You can find us more detail about Mining Hub, about all of the programs we conduct, MSpot, MStart, MConnect, which we talked here today about, and many other programs that we conduct at MSpot, at Mining Hub. So M-Impact, M-Growth, there's plenty to be seen. Please follow us in our social media at Hub da Mineração on Facebook and Instagram, and on Mining Hub at LinkedIn, TikTok, and here on YouTube. Before we say goodbye, I'd really like to tell you guys to check the small videos of the challenges that we are posting this past week. And if you guys want, you can share it with everyone you would like. You can share it with someone that you think that will be perfect for that challenge. And those videos will explain on a briefly time around a minute or two all of the specifics of each of the challenges. You can check them out on our social media. With that, I'll end this webinar. Thank you so much for following us. We will be in touch in the following weeks. We will still be in touch in the following weeks. You still be able to see my hair grow just a little bit more. Probably this will become a recurrent meme of my hair growing during those webinars, as I'm well aware. But let's see how it ends on a couple of weeks. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a lovely afternoon. Again, desiring that you're all safe and sound at home, and that we can finally be free of this at-home situation, and we can all meet each other again and conduct meetings face-to-face and be back to normal, improved normality, which is our goal. So see you next week. Bye-bye. And please do follow us at our website. Reach us for any doubts at the email I just said, and follow our social media. Bye-bye.